Now, in coordination compounds, today onwards, we will be starting with different bonding theories about the coordinate bond. So, how a coordinate bond differs from a normal ionic bond or a covalent bond, because we have never studied coordinate bonding as such before in any of the years. So, we will start from a very basic theory, which is known as Werner's theory. Now, Werner theory came in that time when there was no concept of bond was present. He discovered or he suggested a type of bonding. You can see deliberately I've given an year 1893. Reason is electron was discovered in 1898. Structure of atom was progressively discovered till Bohr's theory till 1913. And first covalent and ionic bonds were suggested in 1919, almost 100 years back. So his theory about bonding, force of attraction is going to be quite different than what today we know as a bond. So in his time, whatever best knowledge he had of chemistry, he gave the theory. He explained how complexes can be produced, how two substances can produce different type of complexes. So his theory was quite vast in his own time. Of course, the theory is not at all perfect, because later on when they discovered hybridization and other things, theory became much better. But to start with how bonds are produced and how coordinate compounds are there, we can, as a base level, we can learn this theory. So Werner in his time, he studied for the first time different coordinate complexes produced between cobalt chloride and ammonia. And he reacted those compounds with silver nitrate. He heated them to see how much ammonia can evolve and so on. And he was the first person to even produce different isomers. So what we studied 2 lectures back as geometrical isomers, cis, trans and all, that was also discovered by Alfred Werner only. He generated a proposed a theory known as Werner's theory of coordination compounds. And for his great pioneering work in coordination chemistry, he was awarded Nobel Prize. We will start with different postulates and then we will apply his theory to different compounds, of course, with obvious limitations of the time. So postulates of Werner's theory go like this. Number one, he says, metals exhibit two types of valences. The word used here is most of the metals. Very accurate, because coordinate compounds are not produced by S block elements. So this most of the metal will include mostly D block elements, transition elements. He says metals will have two valences known as primary valency and a secondary valency. What is that? Also we will see in detail. Just understand the points. He says metal first of all satisfy primary valency, and if given a chance, it then satisfies the secondary valency. He said secondary valency number is going to be fixed, but primary valency could be different in different cases. He said secondary valency is directed towards fixed positions, giving a definite structure. In modern sense, he is talking about the geometry of the shape of the molecule. So shapes like tetrahedral, octahedral, square planar, all these things were not known in Werner's time in science. So he was the first person to suggest that there will be some fixed geometry to these compounds. And he tried to give geometries of the molecules also. Secondary valencies are only satisfied when primary valency is completed. Go through all these points. We have not done details of it. Now in the next slide onwards, we will start with the details. So just basic 5 points of the theories. If you have some doubts in mind, just keep them. We will, after seeing 2 more slides, perhaps you will understand everything. Let us now understand what is this difference in primary and secondary valency. If you have your notes with you, in the notes, these are given like paragraphs, short notes. I have tried to convert the same answer into like a distinguish. So you can compare the terms also. So you can see primary valency is ionizable and non-directional. You can immediately read after first point, the fourth one. In modern sense, this is what you call as oxidation state. So oxidation state term was suggested in 1909, but in 1893, he called it as primary valency. Primary valency, for example, if you take cobalt chloride, COCl3. So what is the primary valency of cobalt? It's going to be 3, because cobalt is connected to 3 chloride groups. Or in terms of oxidation state, we can say cobalt ion is CO plus 3. So plus 3 is the oxidation state, what Werner called at that time as primary valency. As we know, whenever you take a metal ion, it will first form its normal compound. So if you take cobalt plus 3, वो पहले क्या form करेगा? COCl3. It will not go and form immediately coordinate bonds. Coordinate bonds only are produced in special cases. So he says primary valency is satisfied first. Primary valency is satisfied by anions. So for cobalt plus 3, we have anions, 3 chloride ions. Now compare it with secondary valency. Secondary valency, you can see the last point here, first of all. It is coordination number. So by coordination number, we know that if how many ligands, bonds are connected to the central metal atom. That is what he called at that time as secondary valency. So you can see it is directional because coordinate bonds either are tetrahedral, square planar, octahedral. That's why directional. What is non-ionizable here? Non-ionizable will mean you cannot break coordinate bond easily. Next point, when normal ionic bonds are produced, later on secondary valency is satisfied. That means later on coordinate bond is produced. We know what kind of groups are present. They can be neutral molecule ligands, they can be anions. In Werner's time, positive ligands were not known. He, in fact, has not used any term called ligand. That was later on coined of. So he only says that secondary valency is satisfied by either neutral molecules or anions. Go through these 4 points. Any doubt before we go ahead? He has given another terms in it, what is known as inner sphere and outer sphere. So what is an inner sphere? What is outer sphere? What we write as a square bracket for coordination compounds, that is called inner sphere. And whatever is present outside the coordination sphere is called an outer sphere. You can visualize in front of your eyes any coordinate compound we had written so far, and you can see the square bracket is inner sphere. Whatever is outside is outer sphere. Inner sphere contains what part? Central metal atom and anions or neutral. That means they are ligands. Outer sphere will contain oppositely charged ions. So we had studied if coordination sphere is positively charged, outer sphere will have anions. If inner sphere is negatively charged, outer sphere will have cations. If at all coordination sphere is neutral, outer sphere will not contain anything. Next, inner sphere is non-ionizable. So inner sphere cannot be broken down easily, while ionizable is outer sphere. Go through all the points, and now we will actually give examples to understand the Werner's theory properly. This was just raw, simple things, points. We will now explain these examples.
So inner sphere मतलब like the
Coordination sphere, yes, the square bracket. I'll show you right now with one example. Have a look. We write one of the complexes like this. हम लोग को पता है कि कॉम्प्लेक्स क्या है. अभी यहाँ पे हम लोग वर्नर के सब टर्म्स को अटैच करेंगे सो दैट ऑल योर कंसेप्ट्स आर क्लियर. व्हाट वी सी हियर, स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट, इसको वर्नर ने क्या नाम दिया है? इनर स्फीयर. स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट के बाहर जो प्रेजेंट है उसको हम लोग कहते हैं आउटर स्फीयर. कोबाल्ट को अगर अमोनिया नहीं होता तो कोबाल्ट को ये 3 क्लोरीन अटैच होते थे, COCl3. सो इस नंबर 3 को हम लोग कहेंगे प्राइमरी वैलेंसी. और कितने लिगेंड्स कनेक्टेड है अभी? 6 लिगेंड्स. सो दिस इज सेकेंडरी वैलेंसी. See that you are clear with all the 4 terms. If you are okay with all the things, I'm going to go back and now see all the differences once again so that you know all the things are clear to you. Now with this knowledge, go through this once again. अभी आपको कुछ doubt है तो you can ask. Now perhaps the things are a little better. It's very simple theory. He doesn't
Yes.
talk more about any bonding or anything क्योंकि उसके टाइम पे कुछ ये पता ही नहीं था bonding वगैरह चीज. So whatever limited knowledge of science was existing, he explained the things. Now let us solve some problems based on this. These are from your textbook only. They will give you one complex and we have to write secondary valency, primary, inner sphere, outer sphere. So secondary valency is coordination number. So you can see 5 ammonia and 1 chlorine. That means 6 secondary valencies are there. Outside 2 chlorine atoms are present. So outer valency is primary valency. Inner sphere matlab ye square bracket. Outer sphere is Cl2, what is present outside. यहाँ पे देखो, palladium is connected to 4 ammonia. So 4 will be secondary valency. If ammonia was not there, Br2 would have been primary valency. So square bracket is inner sphere, 2Br is outer sphere. Secondary valency will be ammonia, water molecules here 6. Outer valencies are 2. Square bracket is inner sphere. Outside group is, oh, there's a small correction. It should be NO3. So any doubt in any of these example? Quite easy thing. This is very basic level question. Possible only in HSC and CET, not definitely in JEE and NEET. This is too easy. What is more important are the Werner's representation of complexes. For the first time, Werner suggested how to write complexes. Currently, whatever type of complexes we write in square bracket and all, that was not existing in Werner's time. So इसका जो ये representation है, ये सबसे पहला historical representation है. He discovered really a very brilliant technique by which we can clearly understand a complex. He performed experiments with different stoichiometry. So he took cobalt chloride and he mixed with different ratios with ammonia. So like 1:6, 1:5, 1:4, 1:3. That means he was actually making different cobalt ammonia chloride complexes. Now, all these things when he did simple practical laboratory analysis, which even students like you can perform. So he found out that cobalt's regular primary valency is 3. Secondary valency maximum cobalt can achieve with 6. So आज के सेंस में कोबाल्ट का ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट है 3 और उसका कोऑर्डिनेशन नंबर हो सकता है 6. Then when he heated these compounds with HCl, ammonia was never evolved. इसका मतलब है कि अमोनिया और कोबाल्ट के बीच बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फर्म बॉन्ड क्रिएट हुआ है. So if a strong bond is produced, that means it is a coordinate bond. If coordinate bond was not there, ammonia could have been evolved outside very easily. That did not happen. All these molecules, when dissolved in water, can show different electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity का relation है number of ions produced. So every complex will have different formula of the ion. So using all these observations, he gave the representations. So let us begin now one by one. हम लोग ये चार complexes study करेंगे. And what are his observations? So first one, what you see here is this complex we are discussing. COCl3 6 times NH3. ये सिंगल आंसर में आपको दिखा रहा हूं, ये हर एक आंसर एग्जाम में आपको HSC में 2 मार्क के लिए शॉर्ट नोट आ सकता है एंड इस पे बेस्ड कोई भी क्वेश्चंस आपको जेई और नीट में भी आ सकते हैं. इनफैक्ट दे हैव अपीयर्ड प्रायर आल्सो. फर्स्ट, this complex when treated with AgNO3, it produced 3 moles of AgCl. Can any one of you think and tell me what is the meaning of this observation? What does this 3 mole of AgCl indicates? Why not 4? Why not 2? Why not 1? Why only
Because
3?
how many chlorines are there?
But where are they present? Are they present inside the inner sphere?
Outer.
Yes, they will be in outer sphere. Whichever ion is present in the inner sphere will never show any reaction. Remember that. Whatever is present in the outer sphere will show the reaction. Molar conductance was found to be extremely high. इसका मतलब है कि जो आयन क्रिएट हुआ है उस पे बहुत हेवी चार्ज प्रेजेंट है. Ammonia was not liberated. That means ammonia is strongly bound by cobalt, what we today call as coordinate bond. Also, he found that 4 particles are coming. He actually calculated this from Van 't Hoff factor, what we have studied in coordination compounds, depression in freezing point. Cryoscopic study matlab depression in freezing point. He actually used this method to find the molecular formula also. How he represented finally all these observations in a formula. He says, you can write, pay attention everyone to the screen. Huh? He says cobalt is in the center and all the 6 ammonia molecules must be connected to it, perhaps in these 6 directions with firm bonds. When he says that the bonds are firm, he is drawing a solid line. These are the 6 ammonia groups. Moreover, 3 chloride atoms are present, but they are formed in an ionizable way. So the solid line is for coordinate bond. The dotted line is for outer sphere. This is called Werner's representation of the complex like this. We know that in modern sense, this is represented as CONH3 6 times outside Cl3. अभी आप इसको कंपेयर करके देखो. NH3 जो इनर स्फीयर में है उसको हम लोग सॉलिड लाइन से ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं और जो कुछ बाहर रहेगा उसको हम लोग डॉटेड लाइन से ड्रॉ करेंगे. इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, व्हेन यू विल ड्रॉ दिस, अगर ये HSC में आता है और आपको ड्रॉ करना है तो आपको ये प्रॉपर ज्योमेट्री में ड्रॉ करना पड़ेगा. जैसे एक्स एक्सिस, वाई एक्सिस, जेड एक्सिस. यहां पर आप 6 अमोनिया ग्रुप दिखाओ. डॉटेड लाइन आप कहीं पे भी ड्रॉ कर सकते हो क्योंकि आउटर स्फीयर को डायरेक्शन नहीं है. तो मैंने ऐसे ड्रॉ किया है. आप किसी को चाहे तो यहां एक, यहां पर एक, थर्ड यहां पर, कहीं पे भी दिखा सकते हो. इसको कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है क्योंकि जो डॉटेड लाइन है it is without a direction. You can randomly show it attached to cobalt anywhere. Go through the first answer. We will take 3 more complexes like this. जितने डॉटेड लाइन के क्लोराइड है 1 2 3, those chlorides are going to give you AgCl. अभी इस पे चार्ज कितना होगा देखो. इस पर चार्ज है +3, इसका चार्ज है -3. So when charge is 3, you are getting molar conductance quite high. Also observe 3 chloride and entirely 1 ion, total 4 particles. Every observation we need to explain here. That's what Werner did. Any doubt before I go ahead for the next complex? Let us see next one. COCl3 5NH3, and his observation was it produced 2 AgCl. Think for a moment. Can anyone tell me modern sense formula of this compound? Cobalt
CO
को बोलो या
CONH3 bracket 5
हाँ
Cl then
हाँ
box bracket Cl2.
outside will be 2Cl, Cl2. Check. Polar conductance came down. Ammonia is still not liberated. 3 particles are produced. So now watch here. Cobalt connected with 5 ammonia groups and 1 chloride inside, क्योंकि ये बाहर AgCl के साथ नहीं आ रहा है. So अभी bonds का difference देखो. All of them are in the inner sphere. So he showed with this. But these are 2 chloride and something very important introduced. कि क्लोराइड जो था वो पहले कोबाल्ट के साथ था. It was a part of primary valency, but now it is a part of a secondary valency. So to represent this, he added another line over here. Do not misjudge this as double bond. No, it is not a double bond. This indicates dotted line means it was earlier part of primary valency. Solid line indicates now it is a part of secondary valency. So from this, the modern representation comes out to be 5 ammonia, 1 chlorine and Cl2. Any doubt? Have you understood both the notations? जितने dotted line वाले chloride है, they are coming out as AgCl. Let us take one more valency, 4NH3. And he discovered that there is only 1 mole of AgCl coming. Chalo, can anyone think of the modern formula of this one? NH3
4
4 times
and
and Cl2 and outside will be 1 chlorine. देखो molar conductivity और भी कम हो गई 102. Ammonia still not liberated. अभी देखो ये cobalt, there will be 4 ammonia and 2 chlorine. 1 chlorine outside and these 2 chlorine. Earlier primary valency, now secondary valency. Modern sense, as you said, CONH3 4 times Cl2 outside Cl. Tetraamine dichloro cobalt Roman 3 chloride. IUPAC name. Last one with this type. No reaction takes place, no molar conductance. That means all ammonia as well as chloride must be a part of coordinate bond. And 3 chlorine will be shown specially. No outer sphere present, no ionization sphere, only normal coordination sphere. Are all the structures perfectly all right? Cobalt was his first compound, COCl3, what Werner studied. And later on, he even studied platinum 4 with ammonia complexes. Now that similar thing I am explaining here like a table. This is given in NCERT. GTB doesn't mention this particular discovery. They only explain cobalt, but they can very well ask this in exam, just like a case. So you can see present representation currently how we write. How many ions are produced? Exactly same way. In Werner's time, there were only octahedral complexes known. Only coordination number 6 was known. The other geometries, other things were not discovered in Werner's time. So his overall research is limited to coordination number 6 only. They get different problems on this. From the number of moles of AgCl produced, predict the formula of the complex and then calculate primary and secondary valency. अभी जैसे हम लोग ने कोबाल्ट क्लोराइड का किया था, वैसे ही हम लोग अभी कुछ डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम करेंगे. This is the data given to you. PDCl2 4NH3, it produces 2 mole of AgCl. Can anyone construct a formula from this?
PDNH3 4 times,
4 times
and Cl2 outside the
outside
box side.
Cl. Everyone is clear with this? Very simple observation. NiCl2 6 times water. It is also producing 2 moles of AgCl. Formula is quite obvious. NiH2O 6 times Cl2. Now this is a little tricky. Can anyone think?
So I think so. All the Cl is inside and H is outside.
Yes, but that will make H as a cation, right? So
Yes,
this
yes.
is going to be
H2PTCl6.
H2PTCl6. By the way, this is known as chloroplatinic acid. It's a very famous chemical used in chemistry. COCl3 4NH3 produces only 1 mole of AgCl
Only one Cl outside.
outside and 4 ammonia and 2 chlorine inside. 0 mole of AgCl. So platinum ke saath 2 ammonia
All
as
the
well as 2
inside.
chlorine, nothing
2
outside.
chlorine.
Right? Everyone got this thing? These are the problem from your NC, 1 or 2 are from NCRT, बाकी सब last year का GTB का problems है. But these kind of things do come in exams, all sorts of exams. Last point, Werner's theory was the first attempt, as I said in the beginning, but lot of points were not clear as chemistry increased ahead. Like why only certain elements can form coordination compounds? Why alkaline earth metals cannot form any? Why actinides can form, but why not lanthanides? These are the points which was not answered, obviously, by Werner's theory. Why coordination bonds have direction? So where the geometry concept comes. Octahedrally क्यों? दूसरा कोई shape क्यों नहीं? There are every compound with either paramagnetic, diamagnetic, ferromagnetic property. As we have studied earlier, they can be dextro-levo-rotatory. तो ये सब कुछ पता नहीं था. So to explain all these points, later on, new theories were suggested. So in the theories, first application was of VBT, that is hybridization, in 1931. A very, very different theory called crystal field theory was given by physics scientist, first given by Bethe, later on by these 3 people modified it. Then molecular orbital theory finally was applied as the best theory, and molecular orbital theory was slightly modified to perfectly suit coordination compounds called LFT, ligand field theory. Now, these theories are in, I will say, increasingly complicated order. So in our syllabus, we are only going to study VBT and CFT. And once we do this, almost our chapter is finished. ये अपना topic का सबसे last part बाकी है. VBT will take perhaps around 1.5 lecture. CFT will take around 1.5 lecture. So almost 3 more lectures and we'll be over with coordination compounds.